What do you think about this whole idea of reviving a domestic war on terror? They haven't gone so far as to actually pass a bill. The language around this is just for me, it revives memories of that time. In the early 2000s when everybody was so animated over the potential constitutional ramifications of all these different changes. And suddenly now there are people who are sort of talking in the same language, but it's not exactly the same situation. It's obviously more inwardly focused. What do you think about that as somebody who spent some time reporting on the war on terror, the first one?
I come on this show and I quote Matt Taibbi, so just so you'll have me back. Well, the Bush's destruction on civil liberties, aided and abetted by Obama, were far worse than anything Trump or Biden has engaged in. So I think what we're seeing is you're talking about the vaccine mandates and using facial recognition to see if you're vaccinated and vaccine passports. This is tangential, given the utter destruction of civil liberties that were engendered by the Patriot Act and the Authorization to Use Military Force Act, which Obama reinterprets as giving him the right to assassinate American citizens, including a child, including the 16-year-old son of Anwar al-Awlaki. The wholesale surveillance, Edward Snowden's revelations, which came out during the Obama administration. So this is just a natural consequence, the use of these mechanisms in the midst of a pandemic, but I don't think they compare to the destruction of civil liberties, including the right to privacy, that were eviscerated starting with the Bush administration.
What do you think of the mandates?
Well, I'm vaccinated, but do you trust Moderna and Pfizer? These are companies that are making billions in profits off of this stuff. I did an interview with Jimmy Dore. He said that he got, I think it was Moderna, and he had a very adverse reaction. You can be damn sure, we know from history, that if there are adverse reactions, they will seek to hide it, or certainly attempt to minimalize it. That's what they do because it's all about profit. So they did roll these things out quickly. I think there's a legitimate concern. On the other hand, especially with the emerging variants, I made a decision, and my family did. I mean, we all got vaccinated, but I don't think that the concern about the long-term effects is completely unwarranted. And I think somehow to dismiss them out of hand is just not to understand the history of pharmaceutical industries that have long pushed out drugs that are highly profitable, but have side effects. I mean, or look at Roundup or Monsanto, or there's all sorts of examples. You can go all the way back. Look at the tobacco industry, whose model has been adopted by corporations, especially the food industry, the animal ag industry. So I have those concerns, I share them, and I don't dismiss them. On the other hand, I think given the lethality of this pandemic, and as the Delta variant is now supposed to be even more lethal, these things can mutate in various ways. They can mutate to become less lethal. It's a hard question, I guess. Do you force people to get the vaccine?
Hello, thank you so much for listening to and watching Useful Idiots. For full episodes and extended interviews, please subscribe at usefulidiots.substack.com. You can subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/usefulidiots for clips, live streams, and full episodes. Also, subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at UsefulIdiotPod and use the hashtag UsefulIdiotsPod. Join us Mondays at 10 a.m. for the Useful Idiots Monday Morning Show, where we discuss the Sunday morning news shows so you don't have to watch them.